Hi guys, and welcome back to World of Tanks and my continuation towards the Strv 103B. I'm on the IKV 103 tier 5 Swedish TD, and as you can see I've got a little bit of XP on it. I did do a match in it and it was a decent one, got a decent amount of XP for a first win, but I forgot to record this bit beforehand, so I've just got a bit of an unusual ammo loadout because they've gone on it, and I've stuck camo net and binos on it, and hopefully I can get it fully upgraded by the end of this video, and then the next one will just be the sort of last leg of unlocking the next tank after this. So let's get into replays and see how I did. Right, so here we are for the first match, and probably the best match I had in this thing all day. I think it was about 8 games to get it fully upgraded, and I think at that I'd spent about 68 free XP because I just had enough and wanted to get the top gun on it. I've not played in it with the top gun, which only has two types of ammo. It's got heat and premium heat, with 120 and 140 pens, so be interesting to see how that works out. Obviously I'm going to have to avoid hitting tracks and that sort of thing with the heat if possible, but at the moment it's got AP with about, I think, 102 pen, something like that, heat with a bit extra, but not a great deal, and then you've got your HE with I think it was 53 pen if memory serves me. And I did that video with this, with the IKV 103 with this gun, but with the next package on, which I got the upgraded tracks and engine. And I did alright in the challenge video. I got an ace in it and all sorts, and did alright. And today it's just been terrible. I've had, well, I don't know, it's been one of those where I think when I was top tier it was a horrible map for this tank, or the team just completely crumbled, and the rest of them it was either mid tier or bottom tier. When, I mean, even when you're top tier there's some stuff that can one shot you. I think I got one shot by a KV1 earlier in one of the games. So yeah, this was probably the best, and it wasn't really down to much damage that I did myself. Anybody who's been through this line knows how inaccurate this gun is, and it's whether, I don't know, whether I've just not quite got a handle on using it yet, because you see the thing is it's got paper armour as well, so I can imagine it being quite fun toward the end of the match, driving up to people and just derping them from half health, whatever, or even from full health, some of the stuff you come up against. But the way I was playing it was, trying to play it a bit more traditional TD, or traditional glass cannon TD, sit back a bit and take your shots, try and hide. Not sort of let anybody know where you are. And the other thing to get used to on this, which I'd sort of forgotten about because I'd not been in it since I did the challenge video, is just how slow the shells are. You've really got to lead your targets. But yeah, most of it in this match was, was assisted. As you can see, I've got 12 assisted and only 3 of my own damage. Although, you see, look at this, it does a lot of damage. It's over 300, I think it is, alpha damage. So if you do hit and pen, you're going to do, for each hit, sort of each penning hit, you do a good amount of damage. So it's not too bad. It's just hitting that's the problem. And this one, I think, was recorded. In fact, it might even end up that both of the replays that you're going to see were actually saved on the hard drive, because the capture card kept freezing up. In fact, it froze up on this one, and it froze up on the next one, which was the last game that I played in it, I think. And probably 2 of the best games that I played today. The others were very, very poor to mediocre, I think is the best way of describing them. And of course the capture card didn't freeze up on the crap games. It recorded all of that. It was only the decent game that it decided to freeze on. So luckily with the PlayStation you do have that to fall back on, so it's not ideal. The quality is not as good, but it is what it is, and at least it's there as a backup. But at the moment, I mean, yeah, I kind of apologise because it is kind of boring to watch this match. And I do, like I say, it's mostly the assisted damage, but it's just how it is sometimes, Sometimes when you're in tanks like this, you do end up just sat in one place for most of the match, and either stuff keeps sort of coming into view, like it is here, or you know, and you can just sort of turn and shoot whatever. You know, I can turn a little bit to the left, shoot this guy, shoot anything that comes up on those ridges, turn a bit more to the right, and go, you know, go back at shooting at what I was originally. So it's not a bad position. I've not been spotted yet, I don't think. And well, one, you know, it's not got bad camo. I've got the camo net on it as well, and I'm sat behind the bush. Although, to be fair, if anything was closer, it would spot me because I'm not sat behind the bush. And that seems to be the thing. And he's waiting for that aim, and you see, and that looked as though it was going to hit. But as it was in flight, somebody else got there first. So now I'm going to go tear arsing in and see if I can just get up to somebody and derp them a bit. I was going to go for the KV-1S, but again he gets taken down before I can get there. I know there was a Hetzer up this way somewhere. He's probably scuttled off somewhere though, so I don't think he's going to be there, but we'll have to see. And I mean, like I say, it was a decent first win. I was quite happy with it. I thought, you know, I might have an alright time in it today in this. How wrong was I? But from this match, I got nearly enough to get the first upgrade pack on it, which, like I said before, was the engine and tracks. There are only 2 guns for this. The stock gun is the top gun from the tank before this. Whatever it's called, I can't remember. Letters and numbers, probably. And yeah, it's not bad. Like I say, it's not bad. You can do alright with it, but it's hard work, or it seems to be hard work sometimes. There are other times when it's not. In another match, I didn't even take. It wasn't even a fully aimed shot at a Blitzen, and I hit him and one-shot him. You know, from full health. I know he's a little tier 3, but that's just how it goes. And then fully aimed shots were just missing, going wildly out towards the very edge of the aiming circle. So it's, yeah, just one of those things. But like I said before, not a bad game. Nice daily double to start with. And I think it was something like just under or just over 200 XP off to get the upgrade pack. So I thought that's not bad going. You know, a couple of 3 games, and hopefully I might be having it fully upgraded. But like I said before, it wasn't to be. These were some of the stinkers that I had today. Some really bad games where either, you know, I shot at what I could see and what I you know, saw, but as soon as I got spotted, that was it. Bang, dead. Anyway, yeah, enough of the stinkers. This was the last match I think I played in it. Again, a tier 6 match, which I've seen a lot of today in this. Possibly down to the fact that I've been platooned up with my wife. I quite often find, I don't know if it's anybody else finds the same thing, but I quite often find that if I'm platooned up, I'm mid and bottom tier, probably more than I am top tier. I do get top tier matches, but I get more mid tier than anything else, probably followed by bottom tier and then top tier. And I don't know, it could just be coincidence. Like I said, I don't know if anybody else has noticed that. But it's all to do with how the matchmaking works and the sort of matchmaking weight and what have you. And you see, World of Tanks did release the sort of formula and the matchmaking thing and everything a while back on the portal, but I really can't remember if platoons get taken into account for the matchmaking sort of weight, or if it's just, you know, if you're in a platoon, it'll try and put you in a match against another platoon kind of thing. And that's the only way that the matchmaking, you know, the platoons come into matchmaking. I really just can't remember. And I tried to look back and find the article, but it was quite a while ago now, and I couldn't find it. Now, the matchmaking spread, the tanks spread, the team spread is pretty crap on this match. You know, it's got to be said, it's awful. Everybody's piled up here. This is probably the best place for me. It's a tier 6 match after all. I am a glass cannon. I only have 350 health. And that means that I'm a 1-shot for a few of the things that are in here, 2-shot for nearly everything else. So yeah, I thought this was probably the best place. Sit back here on this ridge, try and attack anything that comes up that way, but something has spotted me, and unfortunately hardly anybody has gone up the other side. My wife, she's in the Fighting Girlfriend T-34, she's gone running across there because everybody's just piled up here. And then kind of proceed to get stuck, as you can see down in that bottom southeastern corner, where there's that small rise or the small hill or a knoll, whichever you want to call it. There is a small rise over there, and quite often tanks at this end will run up that way and get behind it to do some spotting, and they just kind of seem to be stuck there. Now I know there were 2 KV2s over there. I think one of them might have died, and there is something else up there, but there's enough tanks on our team to push on them. You know, KV2s are scary when they are top tier in a match. They are, but the way you've got to think of it is he's inaccurate. You've got a good chance he's not going to hit you, and if there's a bunch of you like that, there's a good chance he might not know which one to quite go for, make poor aim, etc. And even if he does fire and hit one of you and probably kill you, he's got a hell of a long reload, where whoever else is with you can just punish him. But yeah, they do kind of get stuck there, and as you can see on the other side of the map, it's largely empty from us. Most of the enemy team are over that way, unfortunately. It's frustrating because I am, like I say, it's a glass cannon this, the armour is crap on it. There's not really much I can do apart from put shots in from over here. I can try and get a bit closer and try and spot with my binoculars, but I would imagine that as I'm trying to get into position, and before I can set my binoculars up, something will spot me and take me down. So I'm going to see if I can do anything here. Just managed to hit that Hellcat. That was a really lucky shot. I really wasn't expecting that to hit. I just sort of flung it in there and thought, bugger it, you know, fire one shot off, try and pull back, try and do something. Unfortunately, my wife's just been taken out. And I'm going to try and set up and see if I can spot anything over there with the binoculars. And if I don't, I'll try and move a little bit closer. See a lot of shells coming in, not sure where they're coming from. But I'd say, you know, if I was in anything else, I'd have gone up the other side. But yeah, anything other than a TD, I think I definitely would have gone up the other side. Now, I've got to lead him really well, because the shell velocity is so poor, like I said. And luckily, just hit him and track him. But nobody, or is it? I'm going to say nobody starts shooting him, but I think I just saw a shell go in. Can I get him? And somebody gave him a good whack, and I just shaved off the last bit of health. That's how I don't think I'm going to get him. You'll notice I fired a few heat, and I sort of keep swapping and changing. I didn't, you know, intentionally fire a heat at that Hellcat. It was just, that's what was loaded. You know, I took the shot and that was it. It was either fire the heat or change shells and probably miss him because he would have pulled back and I wouldn't get the shot in. So, you know, it was worth it. But I found with this, when when you're not trying to just use HE, I do find that you need to swap and change your ammunition quite a bit, and you really do need to know or be aware of sort of armour values of whatever you're shooting at, like this T-34 down here. Is it a T? Sorry, no. Was it a T-34? Or was it a T-34-85? T-34-85. Sorry. I think the preview window is absolutely tiny, but anyway. Hit him down there. You know, it's 50-50 with the HE on the side of him. I could change shells and use an HE, and that would go through this. Not HE, use an AP, which would go through the side of him, definitely. However, at least with HE, well, I say definitely, which, you know, it could still bounce. At least with HE, and I'm hitting him, I'm doing splash damage, so that's why I chose to carry on with the HE. I did have to race down there though because I'd been spotted. I was taking hits from the left. If I'd have pulled back on it, I'd have been killed. So I just had to get down here and get into cover. But, you know, it's quite nippy when it gets going, especially going downhill. So it just gave me the opportunity to get down there. Am I going to get him? Oh, just hit his tracks and tracked him. He's burnt his repair kit. I'm spotted because I'm targeted. And the T-150 gets me and takes me out. But yeah, definitely those two were the best games I had in it all day. Most of the others were kind of like the other one. And the only reason I got any sort of decent amount of XP was normally for damaging a couple of, you know, the XP ops that are on at the minute. Got a couple of sort of bonus XPs from those, or because it was a higher tier match, and even though I did very little damage, it was against higher tier stuff, so you get a bit more XP. But there you go. And like I say, that left me about 68 XP off getting the top package, and I'd just had enough at that point, so I'd usually use 68 free XP just to get that top gun on it. So the next video will be from fully upgraded to unlocking the next one. I'll hammer through it and sort of pick out the best few games. But there you go. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed that one. I'll be back tomorrow with another video for you. Good luck in Tank Bowl. So take care out there, and I'll catch you next time. See you later.